All right. Oh. Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome in, everybody. How we doing? How we doing? 2 minutes until showtime. Thank you. Starting about 4 minutes. Eli and Brandon will be here shortly. Reed's going to join us. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun show. We're talking NFC East, Giants, Eagles, and the football team, and then some Sweet 16 stuff as well. So it's going to be a good show. Call in if you can. 646-668-8672 is the number to call. It's on our Instagram page as well. Again, that's 646-668-8672. I'm going to post that in the chat, actually. Showtime. Lonzo is staying in New Orleans. Interesting. Until showtime. 60 seconds. It's a little cold in here. I'm not gonna lie. Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio. This is a Open Talk Radio 313 Flash production. Welcome back, everybody. It's Thursday, March 25th, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern. We're live with you guys every Thursday afternoon. Thank you guys tuning in on YouTube at the Game Shop Podcast. Make sure you subscribe and like the videos there. We live stream these every week. So they'll all be on YouTube. Make sure to go check those out. Kind of a chilly day here in Boise, Idaho, but we're going to be breaking down, as you can see from the title, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Washington football team, and continuing our rebuilding series before we get to the NFL draft, and then we're going to go to the Sweet 16 and break down the rest of the bracket depending on how much time we have. But it's going to be a good show, so appreciate you guys tuning in. The number to call if you want to call and get on the show, ask us a question. The number to call is 646-668-8672. That is the number to call to get on the show if you want. Reed's going to be joining us for, I think, the majority of the show later. We've got a great show to you guys today. Eli and Brandon will be here in a minute. They are currently at Dutch Bros getting us some energy drinks for this show. Thought they'd be back by now, but I'm just going to ride solo for right now. I don't think I've ever done a solo pod or a solo live show, so thanks, guys, for joining me. And, the NBA trade deadline was today. I think that just actually finished up right now. Big move of the day was Vucevic going to the Bulls. I really like that move for the Bulls, just for Zach LaVine. We're big Zach LaVine guy here. Went to Bothell High School, obviously. He joins Vucevic, the center for the Magic, joins Zach LaVine and the Bulls. Lonzo Ball, people thought he was going to get traded. He's in New Orleans still. So, that's about all we got for the trade deadline. Reed is waiting in the Zoom room. Reed, I'm sorry, Eli is not here right now, so he will get you when he comes back on. Anyways, all right. I think we should just start with the Philadelphia Eagles, and when Eli and Brandon get here, they can just jump on in. So, again, if you guys have not been following along, we've been going through each division and basically talking about their offseason plans, rebuilding their team, what they should do during free agency, what they did now do in free agency, maybe what their draft plans are, what their situation is with the cap, their needs going forward, and everything else. So, hey, you guys are back.
Hey, YouTube.
Said, hey, YouTube. Oh, Brandon and Eli are back.
How's it going?
Reed's in the Zoom waiting room for Eli. I don't know where Eli is, but
He's getting his laptop.
that's yours. That looks like poop.
Poop brown, baby. So good.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good. You gonna give me a sip?
What are we talking about?
We got the Eagles, Giants, and Washington football team
There we go.
on the schedule today.
That was it.
I've never done a solo thing like that. That was awkward.
We were like, man, Jack probably just sitting there.
I almost just
He has
didn't
something
start. I
himself.
almost just didn't start the show. I don't know how those people do it by themselves.
Are we on Blog Talk?
Yeah, we're on everything.
Awesome.
We are
We're live today?
Is Reed in your?
Yeah, he's in the waiting room.
Okay, that's what you told me.
Smells like a gentleman in here.
Yeah, it does. That's good. You got Reed on?
No, it's not.
Okay, Reed. All right, let's get going with the Eagles. I feel bad for everybody that's listening. I know there's probably like 3 people, but
There's 3 people. How you doing?
yeah, those 3 people matter.
Yes. Thank
That's
you for
what
being
I've concluded.
Thank you for being
All right, we got a caller. I think it's Cole. Might as well just take his call, right? Hello, you're on the air with the game chat.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Cole.
Hey, Cole.
Hey, Cole.
Because I felt bad. I felt bad, Jack, that you were alone.
Uh-huh.
I was going to try to talk to you until Eli and Brandon got back.
We made it.
I do have a question.
Okay, shoot.
So the Blazers traded for Norman Powell today. I don't think I like the trade that much. I think Norman Powell's an underrated player, but we also gave Gary Trent, who I think is a really good player, and we gave up Rodney Hood. I don't know if I like that trade.
I figured you wouldn't like that trade. I wanted to get your thoughts on it, but yeah, I think they might just be capitalizing on Gary Trent's value right now in being a younger player, and so they think Norman Powell's better. I don't know. What do you think about it?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really watched NBA like recently, like especially the Raptors. But I remember Norman Powell from when the Raptors beat the Warriors, and I mean he showed up in some big moments. He was a good key piece, I would say. But yeah, I mean I saw the trade too, and I was wondering what you guys thought about it. So. But yeah, I didn't really like it either. I don't know. I don't see him as that top guy for sure.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me kind of is we lose. Gary Trent was like our main defensive player. Like he was our main. He guarded the best guard on the team every time. Like he guarded LeBron when we played. He guarded LeBron when we played him in the playoffs. And I don't know if Norman Powell. Norman Powell's a scorer, not really a shooter. We have.
Are you sure? I think that's what they want Norman Powell to do is guard their best player.
I might be wrong about that too.
I don't know much about him.
I was a big fan of Gary Trent, so that kind of made me a little sad.
Yeah, I agree. Wow, he's averaging 20 points a game.
Yeah, he's having a good season. But
I heard they like his shooting percentage a lot better than Gary Trent's.
Interesting.
Apparently Gary's only shooting like 40 from the field, and he's shooting like almost 50 now.
Okay. Can you hear that, Cole?
Yeah. I think, okay. I'm warming up to it then.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
All right, thanks, Cole. Okay. Well, now you can't see Jack. Yeah, there you go. That works. Perfect. Hey, Reed.
Hey, Reed.
How we doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Good, man. Good.
All right, Reed is our fourth co-host today. All right, let's get into the rebuilding. Let's go to the Philadelphia Eagles is where I think we should start.
God, we're gonna be here all day.
Okay, what an interesting offseason for the Eagles. They first of all trade Carson Wentz, $33 million in dead cap for Carson Wentz, for a third rounder and a conditional second rounder. They believe that pick is going to be a first, pretty much, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Colts believe it's going to be a second. That's the interesting part about the trade, is that each team thinks they're fleecing the other one.
It's the two tweets. One tweet says, "Oh, we give up a second rounder," and the other one says, "We received a first." So
Yeah,
it's
right.
a great debate.
I think the Colts are going to make it a second rounder. Is it based on how good they do this season?
Or is it based on how much Carson Wentz plays?
Yes,
Oh. So if he plays more,
it becomes a first.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Probably be first.
It'll be a first. I don't see them playing at anybody else at quarterback. So.
I don't either. And
They're
then
not first good anymore.
fired Doug Peterson. This was they were one of the longer head coach quarterback duos, even though they've only been together for like 4 years.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah.
Fire Doug Peterson and hire Colts offensive coordinator Nick Sirianni. The parallels between the Colts and the Eagles are hilarious. But so new coach coming in from Indianapolis. Their losses this offseason, obviously they lose Carson Wentz. They also lost Jalen Mills, their safety/corner, signed with the Patriots, I believe.
Yeah, Patriots.
They gain Joe Flacco.
Thank you, Eagles.
So
Thank you, Eagles.
good news there. They also signed Anthony Harris, which is a really underrated signing, the safety from Minnesota, to basically just replace Jalen Mills. It's like an older version of Jalen Mills. Like that's pretty much what it is. It's just like they didn't want to sign Mills to the longer deal, and so they just got a guy that's going to replace him, but not for the long term.
I really the Joe Flacco signing. People laugh at it, but I mean, I feel like it could be a good situation for Jalen Hurts to learn. I mean, Flacco's obviously got a lot of experience, but I don't know if you evolve an offense around Jalen Hurts and say something happens. I just don't know how you throw Joe Flacco in and expect him to run the same offense. You know,
Right.
like they're just two completely different players. But I do think that Flacco will be able to help Jalen grow as a quarterback and kind of learn defenses and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Yep. I totally agree with that. All right, so the Eagles have 11 picks in this draft, I believe. Hold on, let me.
Breaking news: Houston is trading Victor Oladipo to Miami. Wow.
Victor Oladipo to Miami. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a first, a second, 2 thirds, 2 fifths, 3 sixths, and 2 sevenths. So 11 picks, but 7 of them were in the last 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the 6th pick though, because that's where this Eagles offseason gets interesting. Reed, what are your thoughts on what the Eagles should do with 6?
I think they take whoever the best player is at that spot. I think they stay away from quarterback and receiver and just if it's a tackle, if it's Micah Parsons, I could see them going in that direction. I think they need talent. I don't think there's like a specific position right now they need because they need pretty much everything besides quarterback if they believe in Hurts. But yeah, I think they need whoever. Maybe Kyle Pitts. That'd be interesting if they go with him. But I think whoever the most talented player is at that spot.
Yeah, I think they needed. They obviously needed to make up their mind about Hurts, and I think they have. I think they're rolling with Hurts this season.
Yeah.
I think they're rolling with Hurts and Flacco.
I think it's a done deal.
So yeah, I kind of agree, Reed. I think, in my opinion, if Kyle Pitts is there, I think you take him. I don't think Zach Ertz is playing for this team this year, and you just need the best player available. You need good players.
I would trade back from 6 to try to get in that 10 to 12 spot, somewhere around there, and I'd probably go for like Rashawn Slater or the other guy from USC. I like them going offensive tackle or just offensive line in general.
Okay. Interesting. You don't think that? I just think they need help out receiver. I think they need some sort of playmaking. They don't have any playmakers.
Yeah, well, they have Greg Ward, and then they have Rager, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they also have Miles Sanders still, so I don't know. I see that left tackle spot was a problem for them last year.
No, definitely.
And they had Lane Johnson on the right, but he was hurt earlier. But then they had Peters there for a while, and he got hurt, and then they had no one. So yeah, I know. I just see them go off his line, but I totally agree that they need pieces regardless. So
I wouldn't be opposed with them trading down either. I guess with 11 picks though, that's my only thing is like.
Yeah.
I mean, you need like more first rounders would be nice, but
even a second.
yeah, I think the good thing for the Eagles is I don't know if I would take Chase or Waddle or Smith if they're there at the top. I like Pitts there more at 6, even though I think Chase is probably valued higher. I like Pitts there at 6 or trading back and maybe getting a lineman because I think this wide receiver class is so deep that with 2 third-round picks and 2 fifths, I think you'll be able to find a decent receiver in one of those later rounds. And I also think I wouldn't be opposed for them drafting a quarterback in that late round either.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I like
Kellen Mond.
Like Kellen Mond, man, if those are true about those Kellen Mond like rankings where he's just flying up some people's boards, maybe not.
True.
I wouldn't spend like a 3rd rounder on Kellen Mond, but the guys that I really like, I for them late, like Jamie Newman from Wake Forest, I could see like KJ Costello from Mississippi State, I think. Wow, this one has Kyle Trask at 11.
Really?
That's crazy. What the heck? They had
Whatever receiver, they end up going to receiver. Whatever one they take is going to end up sucking, right? Receivers just do not flourish in Philadelphia. There's something about it.
well, and especially when you have Jalen Hurts,
Yeah.
throwing you the ball. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I like them taking a receiver at the top. I think I think they need things other than just receiver. So I'd be kind of disappointed if they went receiver and then I think this receiver class is deep that they could grab another one later.
For sure.
Do we have anything else on the Eagles?
I mean, defensive wise, who do they still have?
Yeah, they need everything on defense pretty much.
Man.
So
I mean, they still got Fletcher probably. That's about it. So,
Yeah.
I think maybe they just re-signed Graham. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
yeah, you're right. Yep.
But yeah, and the quarterbacks and safeties that need help big time. So maybe that's not a bad trading back and then going for J.C. Horn or
Derek
Surtain.
Barnett making $10 million for them.
Yeah,
Darius Slay is also on there. They have Darius
Darius
Slay
Slay,
for a
okay.
long deal, I think.
well, I wouldn't mind with them going for a second corner then, trading back to that 10 to 15 spot and getting Horn or Surtain or
For sure.
I mean, even they want to try to take a flyer on Bartley with the back injury, but
For sure. Reed, anything else on them? Eli, anything on them?
No,
No, I mean, they've really done nothing this offseason, which is disappointing, but
and they still have Ertz.
I mean, coach, we'll see how that pans out. I mean, my guess is he won't be their coach in like 2 years. But they're on the down now. Yeah.
Well, we said they have 11 draft picks, and they're probably going to get more because Zach Ertz is on his way out too. So
Yeah.
they're going to go full rebuild.
National mock drafts released a mock draft yesterday. I'm gonna reference this a few times just because I really like this guy, and he's been pretty accurate in his mock drafts the past few years. He had them trading with the Bears, so trading back to 16, and they had Waddle still at 16. I'd be fine with that if you can get Waddle at 16.
That's good value.
I like that. And Waddle with Hurts would kind of be fun.
It would be.
Yeah.
I don't know. That wouldn't be horrible. I'd be fine if they did that. And then Daniel Jeremiah has them taking Pitts at 6.
Did they play together, Ertz and Waddle?
I don't think so. I think Waddle. I mean, they might have been on the roster at the
Yeah,
same time, but
like Waddle played.
I don't think Waddle played yet.
Oh, okay.
Who was that guy, Joe?
The
The mock draft.
national mock draft. If you don't follow national mock drafts on Instagram, do it. They are a very good follow. He does some good stuff. Another one. He goes, do we buy in on Jalen Hurts? What's our career projection for Jalen Hurts? What if the next 3 years? What do you think?
I don't think he'll be bad.
I think he's 2 years on backup.
Plays 2 years and then backs up.
I feel like it's kind of a similar thing with Tua.
Yeah.
I mean, they both Hurts was Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
For a little bit. Yeah.
But they haven't really had they've had a couple shots, but we haven't seen them play a whole season. But yeah, I don't really know. I kind of just have mixed feelings on him. I feel like Hurts could be pretty good. I mean, he had one pretty good game, didn't he?
Yeah. Keep talking about him. I'll look up his stats.
Yeah, because I remember. I think he had and I don't remember what it was, but I think he had a good fantasy game. I don't know how good his actual game was.
That's the thing is he might be okay for fantasy.
Yeah. But the only thing is, I don't think he's bad, but I don't think there's anything around him. At least not yet.
Yeah, I think he's a better fit for this Eagles than Carson Wentz was. I think that Super Bowl team Wentz was a good fit for that team with a good O-line and some backs that were explosive. But now I think Hurts is a playmaker, and I don't know if he's a really good playmaker, but they're gonna roll with that right now because they got a lot of question marks on that offense and defense. So they just need someone that can make plays, which I think Hurts can do.
How do we feel about Miles Sanders? I mean, last year was supposed to be his breakout year. Wasn't really what Eagles fans and fantasy owners hoped. What do you guys think his future is?
I believe in the talent of Miles Sanders. I just don't. Hurts is going to have to prove something as a passer in order for Sanders to be decent. Because I'm looking at his stats right now. I mean, he won one game against the Saints as a starter. He started 4 games. He was 1-4 or 1-3 as a starter. The game that he won, he was 17-30, 167-1, and then ran for 18 carries and 106 yards.
Oh wow!
So that was a good game. Then against the Cardinals, they lost, but he was 24 of 44 for 338 and 3, and a rushing touchdown.
Those are two. I remember those fantasy games. People were going crazy.
Yeah. And then they lost to Dallas. He was 21 for 39,
What was the score of that game?
37-17.
Okay, that's when they were up 17-0.
Really?
And then Dallas came back and won 31-0. They didn't score for like 3 quarters.
Yeah, he had 2 picks. He was sacked 6 times against the Cardinals.
Jeez.
And he never had a QBR over 60.
Their offensive line was terrible.
He's going to be a good fantasy guy. I think he's going to put up enough numbers in fantasy that people are going to like him. But I don't see him being a super successful NFL quarterback.
Yeah, no.
You want to win, yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, and I mean, just his team, like, after the draft and the rest of free agency, it might change a little bit, but he doesn't really have a lot to throw to right now.
Mhm.
He doesn't have good protection, and the defense the defense just isn't good.
Yeah.
And so, like, they're never going to blow out, which is kind of maybe an upside because he's probably going to try to throw the ball most of the game. But, yeah, like, he's going to get sacked a lot. And, yeah, he's just
I hope they let him run. That's what he's best at. I hope they cater their offense to that rather than try to just make him a drop back passer.
For sure, build around him. Don't try to form him.
And yeah, his completion percentage and never over 50. His highest completion percentage was 56.
That's bad. That's bad. It's really bad.
Anything more, Reed?
My question to you guys is: do you think that Hurts pick was a good pick, like because of his talent, or do you think it was bad because it shot at Wentz's confidence, or do you think he was just fragile and that put it over the edge for Wentz?
Well, I mean, obviously now looking back at it, it was probably good now that Carson's gone. But at the time when they made the pick, I didn't like it at all. And I think to your question, I think it's right. I think that them drafting Hurts definitely put some doubt in Wentz's mind, right? Wentz was already struggling with the mental part, so I think ultimately it's going to hurt them.
Yeah,
To
I
answer
do
your
too.
question.
I think Wentz they traded a lot to get him and then give up on him after one bad year, and then they give up on their coach too. It seems like they made a lot of rash decisions this offseason, which doesn't really help the
No.
team.
And now they're probably going to be bottom 5 in the NFL. So
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the New York Giants. I am a big fan of the New York Giants offseason. They re-signed Leonard Williams 3 years. What'd you say, Reed?
I'm saying
Oh, okay. Is that Cole in the background?
no, it's like overlays. We can hear us.
Oh, okay. Re-signed Leonard Williams 3 years, $63 million. They signed Adoree Jackson 3 years, $39 million. We can touch on that in a second, the Adoree Jackson. The big signing, obviously, for them, Kenny Galladay, 4 years, $72 million. We talked about that on the last podcast. John Ross and Kyle Rudolph. I really like those signings. I just like the low risk, high upside for both of those players. I think Kyle Rudolph is a literally perfect tight end to complement Evan Ingram right now. With how often Evan Ingram gets hurt, I don't know. I just really like that. Both of those signings. John Ross is insanely fast. If he pans out, great. You paid $2 million for him. What do we think about those signings? Because I think the Leonard Williams one was necessary.
Yeah.
He's definitely the core of that defense. And I think that defense is on the rise.
100%. I mean, they wouldn't spend the money, right? They wouldn't pay a
Yeah.
bunch of different people. And the Kyle Rudolph one's kind of crazy because he almost didn't end up with them because he failed a physical because of a foot injury, but it went through, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I really do believe that they said Daniel Jones were putting pieces around for this NFL, like for this team. You need to be the quarterback we've drafted you to be.
Yeah.
If they want any success, it's going to be on him because I think they got enough around him.
Yeah, I really like the. I guess John Ross isn't like a huge piece necessarily. He could be, but like I like the sort of the contrast. Like Kenny Galladay is a huge target, and John Ross is just a speedy guy that'll get on the side or whatever. And then also about this team, like I keep forgetting that they have saved one part.
Yeah, same.
Same. That just slips my mind just because I've seen him play like 3 games in the last 2 years or something like that. Or I think he played more last season, but like he's missed out on pretty much 2 whole seasons. which is really just a shame for fans of football because when he does play, he's electric. But
Reed, what do you think about this team?
Yeah, I like a lot of their signings. The Kenny Galladay one is, to me, my idea question mark just is, I mean, they can cut him after 2 years if he gets it. I think forces a lot, but I mean, they can after 2 years. But yeah, I think they're going all in, which is smart because they have the rec on the rookie deal and they have the defensive pieces. So I like them because I mean they should just they can definitely be a contender in the NFC, especially since how weak it's been this last year. So I definitely like a lot of these signings.
It's definitely wide open, right? I mean, the Washington football team took advantage of it last year, but Dallas is going to come back with Dak, and then the Giants team, they obviously added so many pieces that they should be a lot better. So I really do believe between those three teams, I mean, this is wide open. I mean, who wants it, go get it, And I think it's a revamp here for the NFC East. I really don't think that they're going to be nearly as bad as last year.
I think this division's interesting because it's going to be one of the closest divisions, and like some people may say it's like maybe one of the toughest divisions just within those teams, but like in the grand scheme of like the whole entire league, I don't think these teams are like anything super special. I mean, they're not horrible, but I just think it's funny that like this division is like going to be really tough for all these teams. It's going to be really close, but like I don't think any of these teams, at least right now, we haven't really seen them play this season yet, but like none of these teams are like strong playoff contenders, in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't think they're up there with the big boys yet.
But I just think it's
I
funny.
think they're on their way.
They're all kind of on the same page. Like it's not like there's one team in here that we're just like, all right, this team is gonna, make it out of this division or whatever. But I think whichever team makes it out is gonna have a tough time in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as kind of last season. But I think each team improved. That's why I think we're going to get hopefully a better showing from this division. I think the jury's still out on Joe Judge. I was pretty surprised of how I thought he was a better coach than I was anticipating for the Giants. I think a lot of it was media driven, that this guy's just a special teams coach, and a lot of his raw speeches, I think the media was kind of like, oh, this is really dumb. But I think a lot of players bought into him. You could see the Giants culture, like that team believed in themselves, even when Saquon went down and the lack of weapons that they had on offense. I mean, they beat the Seahawks and
they almost beat the Bucs.
Yeah, they believe in themselves, and so I think that shows a little bit. I think that shows that Joe Judge is not a bad coach. I'm not totally out on him.
No, I like him a lot, and it really struck me as like I try not to listen to the media as much, and I try to listen to like what the players say, and everybody out of New England raved about this guy and said they loved him and said that he was a great team leader, and like that's what I kind of bought into. And yeah, I mean you're right, he led this team after losing their best player. I mean it's hard to rally back, and I mean they made a push to win this division. So I definitely think that they got better, and I definitely think that Joe Judge is a great leader. So yeah, I think the sky's the limit for them next year, getting that playoff spot. And I see what they can do, I guess.
Yeah. So, with the Giants draft, these rebuilds are a little bit easier to do now that we know what they did in free agency. We're not speculating.
Yeah.
We don't have as much to talk about cap-wise either. They had the 11th pick in the draft. So they have a high pick. The big needs that I have for them, offensive line. They let go of Kevin Zeitler. I think that's a bigger loss than people are making it out to be. They picked a tackle at 4 last year, Andrew Thomas. He had a really up and down year. We'll see how that pans out. That's a real bummer of a pick because Andrew Thomas was not the highest rated tackle in that draft, and they passed on Wirfs, Wills, and who else was the other guy that they passed on?
Oh my goodness.
Becton. Yeah, so they passed on 3 Hey Reed, can you mute us when you're not talking because we can hear you through our computer?
Yeah.
They passed on 3 Pro Bowl tackles through year 1, and they had the pick of all of them. So that's a concern for the Giants. I think you probably don't want to take a tackle. I don't think they take a tackle in the first round. I think they add later. They add O-line depth, but you made your bet at 4. You're going to have last year. with picking Thomas.
Yeah, and they should be fine. I totally forgot that they had Nate Solder, which came from the Patriots, and he's really good. But yeah, Andrew Thomas isn't even listed as the starter, and you take him with the number 4 spot, you need him to pan out. And so, right now, right tackle and interior offensive line is a big need for them. But Andrew Thomas should be able to fill that right tackle spot, keep Nate Solder at left tackle. But yeah, like we said this before, interior offensive line is a need NFL wide. So they should have been, they probably still can be, but they should have been more enthusiastic in trying to sign an interior offensive lineman, all these guys.
Especially with you have Saquon Barkley, like you need to protect this
build
guy.
the line, build the line.
Edge and corner are their other big needs as a team. The problem is, I think a corner is going to go before them. I think the Cowboys are locked in at taking a corner.
Yeah, probably.
And knowing Dave Gettleman, the Giants general manager, he wants to take a playmaker. He said that before. He said, I want to add playmakers on offense.
This offense is going to get crowded if they take like a wide receiver or something.
Yeah.
They probably won't take a running back that early.
They won't take a running back.
Well, they won't take a running back at all, I guess. But
who do they have? They have Kenny, and they got Shepard, and they have Slayton. So they don't need. I go corner. Go for J.C. Horn. The dude's a beast.
Reed, who do you like at 11?
I think they should trade back if they don't. Actually, 11. I don't really trade back because I feel like all the quarterbacks might be gone. But yeah, maybe a receiver. Yeah, they don't need a receiver.
Well, maybe
a defense. I might go first if he's still there.
Micah Parsons, is that what you said? Reed, you're lagging out on Zoom really bad. Sorry, buddy. Did you say Micah Parsons?
I think you did. Put a thumbs up if you said Micah Parsons. Can you?
Can you hear me now?
Did you say Micah Parsons at 11?
Yeah, I said Micah Parsons.
Yeah, if he's there, I think that's a great pick. He's just going to be good no matter where he goes, I think. I'm looking, Daniel Jeremiah has them mock taking Gregory Rousseau, the Miami edge rusher at 11. I really like that. It might be too early or what some people might think too early to take this guy. Gregory Rousseau was like a projected top 10 pick. He missed last year. He's kind of slid down some draft boards. I don't know. We'll see. And then National Mock Draft has him taking Devonta Smith at 11.
Man.
I don't. The problem with the Giants is Gettleman is going to do whatever Gettleman wants to do. He doesn't really care about positions. That's why I think they might take a receiver.
Do you know what Shepard and Slayton's contracts are like?
Slayton's young, so.
Slayton is young. They let go of Golden Tate. They'll let go of Golden Tate this offseason. Because that was their trio for a while. It was like Shepard, Slayton, and Tate. Shepard, yeah. Shepard is making $9 million this year.
How much time do they have left in their contracts?
He has an out next year. Shepard. He has 3 more years left on his deal.
They'll probably let him go.
But his dead cap goes down to $4 million next year. So he'll be 29.
They'll probably let him go.
So that
I don't think it's a bad idea.
Might not be horrible.
If they take a receiver and then let Shepard go next year.
4 wide sets with them 3 and Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, Daniel Jones, please do something at that point. Right?
That's the thing. That's like the ultimate test. It's like if they put all that at Daniel Jones' feet and they still can't. I mean, they're not going to be like insane, but they should succeed with that recipe. And if they don't, like it's going to be easy to point the finger at Daniel Jones.
I'm interested. I think sometime this offseason we should make a ranking of like the top 50 quarterbacks. I wonder where Daniel Jones would rank in that. Reed, where do you think he'd rank in like out of all the quarterbacks that have started over the last like year and a half? Like how low do we think?
30s.
I was gonna say bottom half, definitely.
I'd probably say in the 30s.
Like where? Okay, like Tyrod Taylor or Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones gives you the same type of money aspect, but I think he's a better thrower. Okay, Mariota or Daniel Jones?
Oh,
That's a tough
I think
one.
I'll take Daniel Jones.
The thing with Daniel Jones is he's really athletic.
Really fast.
He can make almost every throw. He's got a good arm. The problem is he turns the ball over an insane amount.
He fumbles a lot too.
He had like 15 fumbles last year.
It's ridiculous. I think I'd take Mariota. Right now, if I had a team and I needed a quarterback, I think I'd take Mariota over Daniel Jones.
I think I might too. Do you remember that one play? He didn't lose the ball, but Daniel Jones like broke free to the end zone and he just tripped and fell.
Yeah. He's like, I don't know, he's like Eli Manning but with speed.
He's like awkward because I don't know. I just when I first looked at him, I didn't pick him to be like the athletic, like the like quick, like speedy quarterback type, and he's pretty fast.
He has multiple breakaways in here.
Yeah, and I just think it's so fun. It's just like his mind and his body are on a different page when he's sprinting down the field and he just falls. You are a professional athlete playing in the NFL. You're a starting quarterback of a team, and you can't even just run.
You would take Jimmy G over him, right?
Yes.
I'm looking at
I need a backup, of course, but I'll take Jimmy. Just in case Jimmy G.
because that's this season is all based. It's Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
It's-
100%.
If he doesn't do well, they have to blow the whole thing up.
They will go as far as he can take them.
He's their limiting
Would you
factor
take-
at this point.
Arnold or Daniel Jones?
Who?
Which would you do last?
Darnold,
Darnold.
right? This
team,
this NFL.com had like 4 guys ranked 59 quarterbacks. They had Daniel Jones at 24.
Wow.
who's like
Because
directly
here's 21. They have Fitzpatrick. 22 Goff.
Okay.
23 Jalen Hurts.
He's only played
24 Daniel Jones. I know. I really think people are way too high on Hurts. 25 Andy Dalton. 26 Taysom Hill. 27 Alex Smith. 28 Tua. 29 Teddy Bridgewater. They have Jimmy G at 30.
I think
Mitch Trubisky 31, Cam Newton 32, Drew Lock 33, Carson Wentz 35, Sam Darnold 36.
That's ridiculous. And they had Daniel
All right.
Jones at 24. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Interesting.
Carson Wentz. They have a
They're
half tight end
Yeah, they're
above Carson Wentz.
They're clout chasing. They're looking for arguments.
We'll give our rankings later.
That's what Colin Coward does. It's just
Oh, yeah,
look for
no,
the
it's-
argument, let people talk about it.
and it works because we talk
Get your
about
looks.
we talk about
Where
it.
do we think? Do you think this Giants team makes the playoffs? They're what? Were they 6-11 or 6-10 last year?
Yeah, they're 2 wins away from getting that playoff spot. 1 win, whatever it was.
I think they're a win. I think if they would have,
I think they were a win, and then if I think the football team might have lose or something like that.
I said Cowboys. I think I'm
It
going to
was
stick
if
with
the
that.
football team lost, it would have been. And
Yeah,
then remember the Eagles put in Sutfield or whatever.
yeah, they're 6-10.
Second, right?
Yeah, I stuck with the Cowboys. I think I'm going to stick with them going in. I got them winning. I don't see 2 NFC East teams making the playoffs. I don't see it at all. So if you're picking 1 out of the 4, right? And I think I got the Cowboys right now.
Yeah, I'd take the Cowboys, or if Daniel Jones can play well, he doesn't have to be great, but if he can play well, this team is gonna have.
This team's gonna be so much more fun to watch if he plays well.
Yeah,
I really do think the division is going to be fun because
Yeah.
getting Fitzpatrick to the Washington football team with that defense is going to be fun too. I think it's going to be close. I don't think there's any way one team runs away with it.
Yeah, it's. I just hope the Giants can make something of this because I hope Saquon Barkley can play the whole season. And I hope
That's another thing. If he doesn't play the whole season,
No,
this
God,
whole
yeah.
thing is a waste.
And at what point do we call him a problem?
For sure.
It's getting scary at this point.
No, if he doesn't play this full season, I legitimately think he's not a viable franchise option moving forward.
No, I don't think so
You
either.
seriously have to be like, we're gonna go get another running back.
he's pretty much missed 2 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
And the both times he got hurt has been on that
I think
field.
it's Zeke.
And that's a field type problem.
Would you say
I think he's just a Zeke. Like,
You
I
think
think
he's
he's a Zeke who, like,
Zeke?
I pick.
But he's not. He's
Turn it
not even
down
healthy as
on
much. He's not even healthy as much as Zeke.
Yeah, at least Zeke plays. I truly believe the worst thing for Saquon is playing on that Giants field. I really do. I hate to say it, but
He might go somewhere else and then be
Be a
good.
stud, yeah.
All right, last team in this division, Washington football team. Re-sign Brandon Sheriff. That was a big signing for them. Big signing to bring it back. They also bring back Kyle Allen. They legitimately have 3 quarterbacks in their quarterback room. Really only made 3 signings. Fitzpatrick, a 1-year, $10 million deal. William Jackson, 3-year, $42 million deal. I like that signing, bringing in a corner. And Curtis Samuel, 3 years, $34 million. I think that's a gamble because we know the talent is there for Curtis Samuel. We haven't really seen him produce huge. So I like the theoretical signing, but I'm interested to see kind of how this plays out because he was the 3 in Carolina. And he's shown flashes of where like he's really fast. He's very athletic, very talented. But it's gonna be like, can you give this guy the ball? Can you give him 80 targets?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
I know. I sat there and thought about the moves they've made, and obviously the Curtis Samuel thing. Like, you get all these guys, all these weapons, and then you go and get Fitzpatrick, which everybody's got their own mindset about Fitzpatrick. He's been everywhere, done everything. But when I look at the Fitzpatrick signing, I mean, I understand that they were paying Alex Smith way too much money, so I get that they had to cut him, but I don't know. The more I look at it, the more I don't see that much of an improvement over Alex Smith than Fitzpatrick. I think that if you want Fitzpatrick to be, like, if that's what they were aiming for, is Fitzpatrick to be their quarterback, why not give Kyle Allen a chance? Or re-sign Alex Smith? Like, why go out and pay Fitzmagic? I don't know. Like, the more I see it, the more I feel like this is just a mediocre signing for them. And then they bring in a mediocre signing compared to the weapons they brought in to, like, revamp this offense. Like, I don't know. You bring in all these guys and you bring in Fitzmagic, who shows up once every 3 games, but
Yeah. This team has a 19th pick. I really like the Mac Jones fit
I love it.
with this team. I just don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to get it.
I don't know how they get there. Exactly. I don't know how they get to it.
Reed, would you trade up if you're the football team and go try to get Mac Jones at like 8?
I mean, how much do you think they'd have to give up?
A
Like
first.
Probably at least the first.
First and a second, or first and a third, probably. And a later pick, like 6th round, 5th round pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the what's the highest you think they can move up to? Like 6, maybe, or you said 8, somewhere in that little area right there, I guess, huh?
The tough thing is a lot of those teams that are up there, like, probably really want to stay up.
Yeah, 8 was kind of a bad example because Carolina's at 8. They're not trading back.
6 is the big one, I would think. We just
Yeah,
talked about 6.
6. The Eagles would ask for a lot, though, from the football team.
Yeah.
The guy I'm hearing a lot about for the football team is Christian Darrisaw, tackle from Virginia Tech. I really like them taking a tackle. They need help on the offensive line, especially to get younger on the offensive line, because their defense is fine, and their defense is only going to get better. Just it's obviously quarterback is the big question. I'm starting to think Darrisaw might not even be there. I was looking. Daniel Jeremiah has Darrisaw going there, but National Mock Drafts has
At 19.
at 19. National Mock Drafts had Darrisaw going at like 15 to the Raiders. They had him in a trade or something. But there's it's been Penei Sewell at offensive line for a while. Slater, some people have Slater over Swell. Me and Eli were talking about that the other day. There's a lot of people who like Slater because Slater can play all 5 positions. And now Darrisaw is rising up the draft boards too. Tackle is such an important position that, like, the making the playoffs might have been a bad thing for this football team because they went from being around like 12 to 15 pick range to now 19. 19 is a lot to move up to either grab a quarterback or a tackle. And I'm a little nervous that they might not be able to do either.
It's true. Yeah, I mean, and knowing their outlook, they probably weren't going to go far anyway, right? So you're totally right. Like, looking back at it, it's probably the worst case scenario that's happened.
I think in the top 10, it's gonna. I think there's gonna be 4, if not 5 quarterbacks. Pitts, Chase. I mean that's. And Sewell and probably Slater. That's and probably Micah Parsons. I don't know what order, but that leaves scraps for 11 through 19 to try to see. And the Cowboys are, if they stay put at 10, they're taking a corner.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to see him go and get Mac Jones because I think Mac Jones and Fitzpatrick is a much better quarterback room than. I don't think Heineke or Allen is any sort of answer there, and I don't know why they decided to bring both of those guys back.
That's why the quarterback room confuses me so much with them, because I think that's the one piece they need besides offensive line, and they just went out and got Fitzmagic, who does his thing. But
It's like 40, isn't he?
yeah, I don't know. I would rather run him back with Alex Smith, cut him, and then give him another contract that's more team friendly, because obviously he should be getting paid $20 million.
But if they go get a quarterback, I think the Fitzpatrick signing suddenly becomes pretty good.
No, I agree. But yeah, if they stick with what they have, that's
He's not. Fitzpatrick isn't helping you out at all.
No.
I do agree though. If they go get someone, I think it's a good signing. Yes.
Reed, what do you think they should do at quarterback?
Yeah, I think they should just probably just roll with Fitzpatrick for this year and try to draft one next year. I don't know what the QBs would be like, but I mean they're definitely gonna have to trade up unless they want to take like Trask or someone else, that whoever falls to them at that point.
Yeah,
I think
Trask at 19 is
a reach. I mean, but even
Yeah,
next year, they're not the worst. They're not going to be one
you
of the
have
worst
to
teams in
roll
the NFL.
Fitzpatrick or one of those guys because I mean they're either gonna have to end up. There's no way they keep 4 quarterbacks on the roster for the regular season.
Yeah.
So
You're right there. But like next year, they're not going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. They have too many good players that they're going to be right in that middle pack, and I feel like they're going to find themselves in the same position they are this year if they say, "Oh, we'll wait on a quarterback," right? So that's the only problem I have with that.
yeah, I mean I think they could try to find one later too. I mean teams have done that where they find one second round, third round,
For sure.
producing. So yeah, we'll see.
Like Kellen Mond, I mean, the way he's rising up draft boards, I mean, if they even gave him a chance, I think it'd be better than rolling with Fitzmagic and then Heineke and Cal Allen.
Yeah, I think KJ Costello would be interesting if they brought him in. I think he's definitely. I mean, he's a pocket passer. I think that's what they're trying to go with. I think they're probably going to get a pocket passer for that offense. So I think that'd be interesting if they went with him.
Yeah.
I'm looking at next year's quarterbacks. You have Jaden Daniels, Keaton Slovis, Sam Howell, and Spencer Rattler. Obviously, things could change, but JT Daniels maybe, Hank Bachmeier,
Jack Sears.
Jack Sears. Yeah, I'm worried that the football team is honestly the same with the Giants. Is these teams that have great pieces but just can't figure out the quarterback,
Wasting your prime.
and you're not gonna, that defense is not gonna be there by the time you figure out the quarterback.
Steelers are in the same boat.
Steelers,
Just you're wasting your prime when you have all these guys on good contracts, and then the quarterback room, you're kind of just sticking with what you can have, and it just doesn't pan out. It's just not how you win today's NFL.
No. Do you think the football team has a chance to run it back in this division? To make the playoffs again?
I think they definitely have a chance, but yeah, obviously the limiting factor is quarterback.
When we look at it last year, who they started quarterback last year? They started Kyle Allen, they started Dwayne Haskins, they started Alex Smith,
Yeah.
and then they started Taylor Heineke
Yeah.
in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So they started 4 different quarterbacks in 1 year, and they made the playoffs. So I think if they get any stable play, that they're going to be in contention with.
But
the
that
Cowboys
division
again.
was way worse than it was
100%.
last.
I was gonna say, yeah, like Cowboys didn't have Dak, and the Giants didn't have all the pieces they signed in the NFC one.
Yeah.
So like
100%.
if the Giants and the Cowboys can stay healthy, it's gonna be a lot tougher for the football team. But yeah, I think they definitely can do it.
All right, let's move to March Madness. We're just going to go through the Sweet 16. I think we should just give. Do we want to do each game predictions, or maybe let's just go region by region and say which Final Four team, which team we like to get to the Final Four from that region. So in the West, Gonzaga and Creighton. These games are on Sunday. The two in the West. Number 1 Gonzaga versus number 5 Creighton, and then 6-seeded USC versus 7-seeded Oregon. I think Gonzaga's an easy. I think Oregon could Oregon would be an interesting game against Gonzaga because Oregon can score. I just think Gonzaga could probably score with them.
Yeah.
So
I mean, USC's on fire right now. I think they definitely could be competitive with Gonzaga too. I mean, they thumped Kansas. That was going.
Yeah, for sure. They've beaten both teams pretty handily. That's going to be a really good game, USC Oregon.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that one. But I think Gonzaga's in the Final Four. I think they have. I don't know if either of those teams is gonna beat them. So South.
I agree.
South region, Baylor, Villanova, man. So okay, here's an interesting debate. I was kind of listening to a college basketball podcast. So we know Villanova's best player is out right now. They've won 2 games with their best player being out. Is it worse that they've advanced? Like, because now you're here against Baylor. Say you lose this game. Are you more upset that you made it to the Sweet 16? Because now you're like, if we have our best player, like we might be a Final Four team.
Yeah.
Or would you have rather lost that first game and then be like, well, we didn't have our best player? That's really
I
tough.
definitely think you take the wins. Like,
Yeah, but now you're like,
doesn't happen often. I mean, Villanova's it happens often for them, but
that's my thing is Villanova's won 2 out of the last 4 tournaments. They're obviously a great program. Jay Wright is an unbelievable coach. So it's like, I don't know, this might just make your players like sad that you're like, wow, we had the team this year to do it all if we have our best player.
I don't think it changes the mindset though. From like if you lost in the first round compared to the 16, like I think it's always gonna be in the back of their mind how good they could have been if they had him. So that's the only thing I would say about that. But I mean, good for them. I mean, besides that question, great for Villanova because everybody counted them out.
Yeah.
And look at what they've done without him. It's crazy. Just crazy.
They won 2 of the last 4 tournaments. That's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
The buzzer beater.
And we don't even think of Villanova as a
Powerhouse.
You don't even think of them like there's the Blue Bloods, there's the Kentucky, North Carolina, Duke, Kansas. There's like the second tier. I don't even think we think of Villanova as a second tier. Probably should think of them as a Blue Blood. The other game in that region is Oral Roberts versus Arkansas. I think Arkansas has the potential to just blow them out.
Yes.
Like Arkansas shoots threes a lot and shoots them pretty well. They could just blow the doors off them. But if it's close, I like Oral Roberts.
Yeah, that's a good number. I mean, isn't that crazy that we're
talking about
this, you know?
I've seen people. I was debating about if we should do like a reseeding the tournament, like you seed them 1 through 16. And I've seen a couple of people do that, and they have Oral Roberts at like 8. And like you've got to be kidding!
Really?
Come on! Like they won 2 games by combined 5 points. Like
Yeah. It's funny because with the same question you just asked about Villanova, you could ask about Ohio State fans. Like, the farther that Oral Roberts goes, do you think Ohio State fans feel better about
Right.
the opening loss? But
Yeah, if you're Ohio State, you probably want them to make
Just
it
keep that one
Just keep
going.
But the contrary to that is the farther they go, the more people talk about
100%,
Oral Roberts.
100%.
And then you go,
oh,
the good teams, they beat Ohio State that year. Like that makes it.
that is true. You're gonna put in the history books for
Yeah.
yeah, you never remember like I know they put up that stat like the second team in the last 4 years to win, and I was like, I totally forgot about Middle Tennessee beating Michigan State.
Yeah.
You remember Florida Gulf Coast because they went so far. That's all you remember. Yeah. I think Baylor is going to go to the Final Four. I think we kind of all underestimated how talented they are because, man, when you watch them, they look really, really good. Midwest region, it baffles me that Loyola Chicago, Oregon State, Syracuse, or Houston is going to be in the Final Four. This is the region I'm most excited about watching. I think we've talked about kind of how sometimes these upsets make the games worse, like just to watch. I'm really excited to watch Loyola Chicago, Oregon State. That's a fun game.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna watch like we'll be at breakfast or something, probably watching that game. That's the first game on Saturday, but I mean, Oregon State's the hottest team in the country right now. They've won like 15 straight, something like that. Maybe not that much straight. I think they've probably only won like 7, but
close.
And Loyola Chicago just came off a win over one of the hottest teams in the country in Illinois. So I'm really excited for this game.
I think I'm rooting for Syracuse. I don't know why.
Rooting for
Yeah,
Syracuse?
I don't know why. I'm fully bought into the Buddy Boeheim hype train, and I'm loving the dad son little dynamic they got going there. But
Reed, did you see Buddy Boeheim was on bench mob?
Yeah, I saw they asked him about Big Cat's saying that he could be the number one pick or something.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of that.
Yeah.
Bill's got Matt Breida.
They're expected to sign Breida.
So now dropped an ornament.
But if
Probably.
Syracuse doesn't get it, I'm going for Sister Jean. Loyal Chicago, take it home, get it done.
I think it'd
Make
be
a
cool
name
for
for
Oregon
yourself.
State. I think that's a cool story for Oregon
Yeah,
State.
that is
too.
true. There's a lot of good teams in this one.
Houston would be the most boring. They are
Houston would be
so
boring.
boring.
I hope they don't because that would be boring.
They're so boring. Syracuse is just fun because they play that zone, and now you have Buddy Boeheim. Yeah, I hope Syracuse beats Houston. I'm with you 100% there. Houston is the most boring team in the tournament.
I think Oregon State's going to take 3-10. I think they're hot right now. I think the only team that can stop them is Loyola. So I think if they win this game, they win the next game.
That'd be awesome. All right, final region. But I think then that Baylor has a pretty easy road to the Final Four.
Yeah. That's true.
I think they're talented enough to beat any of those other teams. East region, Michigan, Florida State. I think Florida State's another really boring team. So I kind of hope Michigan wins this just because of how boring Florida State is to me.
I think this region is really boring to me. I don't really like. I don't really like Michigan. I think they're kind of boring, and I think Florida State's boring too.
I think Alabama's going to go to the Final Four in this one.
Yeah.
Alabama could win this whole thing. They're the team that could beat Gonzaga because of how often and well they shoot threes. I mean, they dropped 96 on Maryland. If they get hot starting shooting threes, this team shot at one point in the season. They went on like a big winning streak. This is why I think this team could win the tournament because they've done it before, where they've won like 10 straight games. Alabama shooting like an unworldly amount of threes per game and shooting at like 55%. If a team is shooting 55% from three at a super high clip, like you're not going to beat them.
Yeah.
So that's why if this team gets hot, they might win the whole thing, legitimately. So I kind of hope Alabama Gonzaga might be 110 to 110, which in a college basketball game is ridiculous. Like that'd be insane.
That'd be the championship. Yep.
Yeah, but I'm with you. I think most of the teams in this, like UCLA, Abilene Christian didn't even score 50.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That was one of the games where you were talking about the upsets. That wasn't a game from the beginning. You were like, oh, yeah. Once it started, like maybe they can do it, and then it was like, oh wait, UCLA is a good basketball team.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's all I have.
About it.
I think we might just end the stream right now. Yeah.
What game are you circling this weekend though?
What do you mean circling? Like to watch?
Like you're gonna watch it no matter what. Like you're watching that through and through.
I want to say Oregon State Loyola.
Oregon State Loyola.
like that game a lot.
USC Oregon too. I think is going to be a fun game to watch.
Are they on different days?
Yeah, one Saturday, one Sunday. I'm more excited for the
Yeah,
Elite
Oregon
Eight.
State's
I think
the
there's
first
a
game, right? On Saturday.
What?
Oregon State's the first game on Saturday, right?
Yeah. That's why I think that's the game I'm most excited to watch. I don't know. There's not a ton of great matchups, and I actually think Arkansas or Roberts, just for the story of Roberts, I think would be fun to watch.
Yeah, that would be a good game.
Yep.
Hopefully.
All right, Reed. We will.
See you guys.
We'll coach you later. Thanks for co-hosting, even on Zoom. I know that's tough for you, but we appreciate it. So thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. See you guys in. Well, yeah, you'll be here in what? 2 weeks?
3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yes, sir. All right, later,
All
Reed.
right, see ya.
10 seconds.
Bye, YouTube. We had 2 viewers.
All right, we're off. Thank you, guys.